evening is 6 o'clock p.m. 25 years of broadcasting excellence, and welcome to Newsnight. In this edition, as part of commemoration of International Women's Day, the Affirmative Action Bill Coalition the Akufo-Addo government for the undue delays in the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill.
We are worried because we are getting towards first quarter of the year. So we are worried because we think that if it's not sent in Parliament soon, then it will lapse. That is why we are organizing this press conference, to put pressure for the bill to be completed and sent to Parliament.
We'll also hear from a former member of the administration who wants action to be taken for the immediate passage of the bill.
And also in this edition, Second Lady Samira Baumia says the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration in 3 years far exceeds what the NDC did in 8 years.
Dollar to CD is 5.4. You can say it hasn't shifted, but the rate at which, context is everything, Obi. The rate at which it has moved, it is 4.4. If NDC were managing the economy the way they've been managing it before we won power now, it drew 12 points, because this is 300% increase.
Former President Rawlings says the many unresolved murders by the police is fueling a culture of impunity among criminal elements in the society, as he demands action on the murder of Assembly member of the Sogakope South electoral area.
Some of the killings that have been going on in this country, and especially in this area, are not being dealt with appropriately. So people feel they can do things like that with impunity.
Tonight, we will hear from the police command on their investigations, as former President Mahama also urges them to expedite action on the case.
And in business, we will explore the implications of declining crude prices on the economy.
And later, Joy FM Konka Ghana tour proves to be a hit, with patrons across the age divide as participants as young as 8 and as old as 75 years took up the challenge in conquering some of the country's historical sites in 48 hours.
You know, I love traveling, and I told my children, this my special birthday. I want nothing but a trip.
We have all that and more coming out in tonight's edition of Newsnight. Please join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp is 0244 340 437.
My name is Nana Oye Lithur. Good evening.
And I am Emefa. Apawu. Newsnight is brought to you by Puma Cash from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience.
The Affirmative Action Bill Coalition, a group of civil society organizations and individuals, is expressing displeasure at the delays in getting the Affirmative Action Bill passed into law. The bill has been in the works for the past 15 years, most of that time spent on drafting and corrections. The group wants to pile pressure on government to speed up work on the bill and have Parliament consider it before the end of this month. Here is Mami Esi Nyamiche Thompson's report.
Fears that the Affirmative Action Bill may not become law are deeper than ever as election 2020 inches closer. The coalition believes the time to pile pressure is now. Convener of the group, Sheila Minka-Premo, leads the campaign for the bill to be laid in Parliament before the month of March ends.
Once in an election year, that is in 2016 October, it couldn't be processed and lapsed at the end of that year when Parliament finished its term. It had to be worked on again before being sent to Parliament, and currently the bill is yet to be sent back to Parliament, and we are not happy with this.
It's been 15 years of advocacy. According to the group, Parliament just needs a corrected draft to begin the process of passing the bill. However, it is taking the Gender Ministry longer than usual to effect the changes when it was returned to them in December last year.
The bill is still with the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection. We were made to understand that it went to Cabinet around December, and some changes have been recommended. So the Ministry has worked on it, and they've taken it to the Attorney General's office. We know that it is on the schedule of Parliament for this session. We are worried because we are getting towards first quarter of the year, because we think that if it's not sent in Parliament soon, then it will lapse.
Meanwhile, member of the group, Elizabeth Apawu, says there's the need to continue lobbying for action to be taken.
It is because we are convinced that without, a coalition to push for this agenda, which has been on the drawing books 25 years plus, or even from 1960, we need to do something now.
The 15-year battle to get more Ghanaian women into leadership positions may drag unless government reaffirms its commitment by ensuring the bill is passed.
Meanwhile, former Gender Minister Otiko Jaba has challenged the Akufo-Addo administration to pass the Affirmative Action Bill. She spoke on the AM show on Multi TV.
Fears that the Affirmative Action Bill may not.
We need to also change or reform our laws. For example, the Affirmative Action Bill. This is the month of Ghana's birthday. And this is the women's birthday. So what is stopping the government and parliament from passing the Affirmative Action Bill this month as a birthday to all Ghanaians? Because the development of women is a national issue. If every woman is educated, there will be no man who will not be educated, because no educated woman would leave her son out. It's important that we understand that women's issues are not limited to women. Women's issues are a national issue.
We have the Gender and Social Protection Minister, Honorable Cynthia Morrison, on the line. Good evening, Honorable Minister.
Good evening, my dear. How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine. You?
Today, we would like to find out about the Affirmative Action Bill. Exactly where is the Affirmative Action Bill now?
Thank you, and thank you to your listeners also. And I wish all women happy International Women's Day. I can confidently tell you that the Affirmative Action Bill has just come back from the Attorney General, and it is on the floor of the Cabinet Committee. The Social Committee will meet this week. We deliberate on it, and it will go to the plenary at Cabinet. So I can confidently tell you that all corrections have been made, additions and subtractions, and then it is on the floor in the committee at Cabinet.
Thank you very much, Honorable Cynthia. So this means it has not been approved yet by Cabinet?
No, it's been in and out of Cabinet. When you send a memo to Cabinet, the committee would first of all have to go through it, because the moment it gets to the floor on Parliament, the plenary in Parliament, they will have to scrutinize it. So we make sure that we have the finality, so that when it gets there, with or without additions, it can be passed. So I can tell you that is where it has gone.
We have barely 9 months to 7th of December. When will Cabinet approve, and when will it be sent to Parliament? What is the estimated time frame for this Affirmative Action Bill?
The moment our committee passes it and it gets to the floor, because the President is so anxious, that is the question he asks every day, so we have to expedite it. The moment it gets to the floor, I can tell you that it gets to Parliament. The only place it can delay a little is in Parliament, because we have to go back and forth and debate it. But I believe that when it gets to the floor of Parliament, we wouldn't have any hitches and then it can be passed.
So all things being equal, you can assure us that the Affirmative Action Bill will be passed before November?
End of the year, yes.
Can you give us that assurance?
I can give that assurance. But when it gets to the floor, let's pray that we all accept it. That is the only hitch that we have. But it should come to Parliament before November.
Thank you very much, Honorable Cynthia Morrison, the Gender Minister. Thank you.
Well, but I must add that Madam Cynthia Morrison, you're speaking to a former gender minister, Nanoye Lithur. But I want to find out, of course, that's what...
Good evening.
Just good evening to you once
Hi,
again.
good evening. Happy International Women's Day.
Well, but I would want to find out from you, the concern is that this has been to Parliament before under her regime. We are told that some consultations were done. She says that the first reading was done as well. What really, of course, the coalition today have raised some concerns. They are actually charging the Akufo-Addo administration to actually do something about this immediately because it's of concern to them. It's been there for past 15 years, most of that time spent on drafting and corrections. I know you've given us some assurance that will be done, but it will be good to give some concrete timelines because they want that done now. You say that by November is when you're hoping that will be done?
No, you asked that whether it could be done by November, and I said yes. I am hoping that if next week we are able to go to committee and send it to the plenary, the floor of the cabinet, and then it will go straight to Parliament. That is my problem. I was telling you that I'm praying that when it gets to cabinet, we wouldn't have any hitches again. So as for cabinet, I believe in my heart of hearts that once it gets there and we scrutinize and then we send it to the floor of Parliament, hopefully it will be passed before November. I didn't say November. You asked if it will be done before November.
Okay, but you should then give us your timeline. So you're saying that by next week you're sure that it will leave cabinet?
1 week, yes.
By next week, you say?
So Emefa, she's saying by next week it will be considered for approval by cabinet. So it has still not been approved by cabinet.
Okay.
I know.
But so do we know when that will be done?
Been approved by cabinet, yes.
Do we know when that approval will be given? You're saying that you have a cabinet meeting on Thursday. Do we know when that will be done?
We have
the next one, the next Thursday.
Yes.
Okay.
So when it gets to cabinet, that is what I said. I'm praying that we wouldn't have any hitches again. That the finality of what we are presenting to cabinet on Thursday will be okay by everyone. Because, if we don't okay, to go back to Parliament and then come back, and that is what we are trying to prevent.
But what exactly are the hitches with it? You've said that there are some hitches. What exactly are the hitches?
There are chieftaincy things in it. There are some things that because we've taken them out. I don't even talk about for somebody to come back and say, we had our disability challenges, whether we have slotted things in. And I believe that once we have gone and it has been criticized by the whole committee and we have changed to their satisfaction, I hope that when it gets back, we wouldn't have the challenge of sending it back for a review again, but that they will accept it and it to go to plenary.
Okay. We're grateful for your time. That's the Gender Minister, Madam Cynthia Morrison. But it's good that we have you in the studio as well, Nanoye Lithur. What exactly did you do with this affirmative action bill? It's also of concern to many.
Okay. We'll go back to the former minister, Ekwa Danswa and Mrs. Azuma. So what happened was we had a 21 technical committee. In 2013, we also had the drafting of the affirmative action bill between the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. It was approved by Cabinet by 2014, and then it was submitted to Parliament. It went through the first reading in Parliament. Unfortunately, after December 7th and after the handing over on January 7, 2017, the affirmative action bill lapsed. And so it had to start from zero and then the process. But I must say that it's been 3 years, 3 months. And if it has still not been approved by cabinet, then I have cause for concern. Because for our 4 years, by year 2, we had gotten approval from cabinet.
Okay. Well, but this affirmative action bill in itself, some say, what difference really will it make once it is passed?
The big difference, the game changer, is that automatically we would have, I don't know what the percentages are now, but we were looking at 40%, 30 to 40% representation of women across board. Representation of women, so 40% representation in Parliament, the judiciary, public service, civil service, the security services. So across board, where government has to appoint or where there has to be elections, and also even within local governments, we would have had an automatic 40% allocation for women.
Okay.
This is the gravamen of the Affirmative Action Bill.
Well, we'll stay on women issues, Nanoye, because it's been 25 years since Ghana affirmed her pledge to the Beijing Platform for Action to commit to gender equality. Now, although they admit there are still cultural bottlenecks that make it difficult for women to rise in society, they believe the ability to attain success should be a motivation to all. Former EC chairperson Charlotte Osei today hosted a special edition of the Super Morning Show that had law professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu and the NCCE's Josephine Nkrumah. While the law professor believes women are on the right track to achieve greater success with time, Ms. Nkrumah wants the involvement of men in the push to create more opportunities for women. Listen to the two of them.
We are doing better. We could do better. But on the whole, there's a lot more awareness of female capabilities and the female capacities. And I am convinced that with persistence and with time, we will have the parity that we are talking about. We suffer a lot of historical disadvantages. And it takes time to overcome historical advantages. You don't just sit, you work at it. As for female president, yes, it would be nice. I don't think Ghana is ready. Whatever people say, secretly they are not.
It should be more evolution than revolution, but we need to accelerate the evolution. And I think one of the things that we do well as women is to talk to each other about it. Try and, you see all of the talk about supporting each other, helping women rise up. But we need to have more engagement with the men. Because at the end of the day, who is on the other end of the stick?
Is it the sense that men feel that the more empowered women become, is the more disempowered men become?
You see, I think men come from a position of privilege, and unless the privilege is taken from you, you don't understand what it's like to be underprivileged.
You had law professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu, NCC chairperson Josephine Nkrumah, plus the former EC chairperson Charlotte Osei on the Super Morning Show.
The former gender minister Otiku Jaba has also thrown a challenge to women with complaints about not getting a seat at the table.
All the women in this country, and we are the majority. The rest of the minority are born by us and are nurtured by us. Look at the work we put in to bring up our sons and daughters. Then you grow up and you say that I should not be at the table. What I want to say to these women today is, if nobody will invite you to the table, take your chair to the table. Invite yourself. There is no free lunch. When you're fighting for freedom, nobody's going to give it to you. You fight till the day you die. And so if I give birth to my sons and daughters, I have the right to be at the table. And if nobody will give it to me, I will take it.
We are taking our chairs to the table and moving on to politics. Second Lady Samiria Bawumia says the Akufo-Addo administration has performed better in 3 years than what the NDC did in 8 years. She wants Ghanaians to disregard what she describes as distortions by opposition political parties, including the NDC. The Second Lady says the economy under the MPP has opened up and will continue to grow if the party is given 4 more years. She spoke on the Nkosi Seng show on our sister station, Asempa FM.
Inshallah, by the time I attend no besuno, nia ebin si krom hada.
In my first term.
In our first term, yes. So it's here Kumasi lecture na. So say you do 78%. Yes. And we are only in the first quarter of our fourth.
We are gradually fulfilling all the promises we made to Ghanaians ahead of the 2016 general elections. If we've been able to do 78% of the promises in our third year, that for me is commendable.
And but I mean the statistics speaks for itself. Obi, if you indulge me, let me talk about, because I also don't want to fall into the trap of speaking without the data to back it. In 2009, the comparative analysis. Na Ghana for no more judge the economy no. Who's done better? 209 to 206. Now you're among the weakest economies in the world. Now your growth, you're 3.4%. 3.4%.
That's 2009 to 2016.
Yes, okay, average now. 3.4.
Well, inflation has dropped from 15.8 to 7.8%, the lowest in the history of the country.
3.4 acres. Yeah. No, be over 7 acres. Why not bet me for more acres? Obenya home fast for more.
7 acres.
Thank you. So that is what we're talking about. Inflation. Just say prices are ebe kosro no. Now you 15.4%, 2009 to 2016. Say is around 7.8%. Mami Sisubio, 15.4%, and then we're talking 7.8, which is the lowest in our country's history since 1992. Now yet unprecedented. So what they were priding themselves in, okay, yeah, better than that. Obi,
we used to hear unprecedented, but we have gone past that now. We have achieved in 3 years what they couldn't achieve in 8 years. The cedi depreciated by some 300 under the NDC.
Virtually indebted to the banks. And we're hovering around 20%. It's not good, but it's gone down drastically. And we're talking 3 years in government. And these are statistics from 2009 to 2016. Into almost 8 years. No, they couldn't handle. This is what we've been able to achieve in 3 years, Obi. Yeah, let's talk about exchange rate depreciation. Yeah, Biden. So, Mukaya, 2017, 4.2.
Yes.
2009, President Kufuor na cedi no 1.2. And now, over 8 years, no, 2009 to 2016 record, no, movie cedi no to 4.2, which is increase of more than 300% increase, and now depreciation in the cedi.
So that's the second lady, Samira Baumia, speaking on Ekusi saying on Asempa FM.
We're staying on politics. 120 people filed nominations to contest the available 47 seats for the governing MPP in the Ashanti region. But after vetting, 17 of them missed the boat, leaving 104 to battle the April 14th parliamentary primaries. Inability to nurture a constituency, non-payment of filing fees in full were some of the reasons assigned for the disqualification. General Secretary of the MPP, John Buedu, has been explaining more in this exclusive interview with Love FM's Nana Yao Jima.
In the upcoming conference, and I think we've done so well. I must thank the party in general for deciding on this kind of committee that was put in place. In Ashanti region, Chairman Wontumi has been very instrumental in his team, and the team that came from National Aziz, Evans Nimakon, Gary Nimakon, they've been so exciting. And I believe that this is something that is going to put the party in the forefront towards our victory.
So on what basis were those who were declined the opportunity to contest? On what basis were they declined?
The basis is clear. Article 12 of our Constitution clearly defines or clearly give criteria for anybody who wants to contest to qualify. For instance, if you are unable to pay your filing fees as prescribed by National Executive Committee before filing, you'll be disqualified. If you've not nurtured the constituency for at least 2 years, it means that you are not qualified. If you are not active and known in the constituency for a period of at least 2 years, you will be unable to accept that you should continue the process. So the decision ranges from not being active, not being known, having not nurtured the constituency for at least 2 years, and the fact that some few of them were also not able to pay in full their filing fees.
So what's next for these people who have been cleared?
By close of day, the total list per constituency will be pasted as per the rules and regulations, will be pasted in the various constituencies and the regional party. And all those who have not even been recommended, if they are minded to continue, there's a process also by the party through the National Parliamentary Appeals Committee that they can appeal within reasonable time for them to also sit on. So we allow each and everybody for redress, reasons for disqualification will be given to the Appeals Committee for them to also look at it. So nobody at the end of this process will have any reason to doubt the integrity of this committee. I think that I stand and represent them to say that they've done so well for this party, and I believe that those who didn't get the opportunity to go through the rigorous vetting process will sit back and continue to learn. Because if it's about not nurturing the constituency, you have up to about 3-4 years now to nurture a constituency. If it's about not being active, you have about 3-4 years now to 2022 or 2023 to be active.
As you may be aware, personalities like Philip Addison, who represented the MPP during the election petition in 2013, was disqualified in his bid to contest the Akwapim North constituency of the MPP in the Eastern region. His supporters are protesting his disqualification, but the national chairman of the MPP, Mr. Freddie Blay, tells Kwesi Parker Wilson that there is room for an appeal.
It's a bit controversial, and that's why we don't just put one or two, in some cases about three, very well grounded and knowledgeable members of the party at the national level to go and supervise or to work hand in hand. They are going, the process is ongoing. If not yet completed, I'm aware in some cases, a few casualties by way of saying disqualification have gone on, but that's not the end of the process. It's because there will be a window of opportunity for some of them to have the opportunity to, as it were, make a good case. If the vetting committee in the various regions have not done a good work, the appeal can go on, and then there will be opposition. Indeed, even when the appeal is being exhausted at a national level, that may not be the end. It may have to come before the National Executive Committee and the National Council. So what I will do is that I'm not saying that I'm sitting in an appellate position as an individual, but I'm only informing you and informing the public, and particularly our teaming members, that they should take it easy, that the process is ongoing. It's only the first instance, there will be a second instance, and even possibly a third instance.
So if I understand you, that guilt aspirant can appeal the decision?
Definitely.
And you're going to review it?
There will be an appeal, a process of appeal, and it will be looked at. Those who bother or who are minded to appeal can go ahead and they will do so. But on those who are happy, and some of them are satisfied with what has happened there, of course that will be the end, and those who are successful will be congratulated, and they will be the members, or they will be the various aspirants that will bear the flag of the party in the constitution.
John, the national executives have been accused basically of seeking to protect MPs who are in government. I'm talking about ministers. Now, if you go to the extreme, for example, all the aspirants are contesting those in government. I'm talking about the Deputy Finance Minister, I'm talking about Western Housing Minister, I'm talking about the Roads Minister. All the candidates, the aspirants contesting them were disqualified. Is the party seeking to protect MPs who are in government?
I don't believe that is the case. As I told you earlier on, we are yet to be provided with the full list and how it's going on. I don't want to speculate on that, but definitely it's not the intention of the National Secretariat, definitely not the National Executive Committee, to protect individuals whoever they are. That's not the case. It's going by the Constitution and strictly by the Constitution and regulation that we set up. If you don't qualify, you will not qualify. If you do and you are not happy with the decision of the vetting committee, you will have the opportunity of making a second case before the appeals committee.
That was an interview with Freddie Blay, National Chairman of the MPP. Time now for business news. Still to come, former President Rawlings says the many unresolved murders by the police is fueling a culture of impunity among criminal elements in the society, as he demands action on the murder of Assembly member of Sogakope South electoral area.
Some of the killings that have been going on in this country, and especially in this area, are not being dealt with appropriately. So people feel they can do things like that with impunity.
And also later, Joy FM Conquer Ghana tour proves to be a hit with patrons across the age divide as participants as young as 8 and as old as 75 years took up the challenge in conquering some of the country's historical sites in 48 hours.
You know, I love traveling, and I told my children, this my special birthday. I want nothing but a trip.
Hello, George.
Hi, Mama. You're doing great. I mean, I think we should get you into the newsroom, to help us.
I need to do some. I need to keep fit because I need to do my breathing and pausing and everything.
Great, Mom.
Great. Thank you, George. Business news.
Well, coming up in business, declining crude prices, the good, the bad, and the ugly for the economy as banking giant Goldman Sachs forecasts prices hitting $20 a barrel before the end of this year. We're looking at the implications for the economy. And Bank of Ghana shows of measures to aid its 2024 target of going cashless. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank. How can we help you? Remember, it has been 25 years of joy and updating the marketplace on all the relevant business and financial issues.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing top. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no. Why did you leave Abeku alone on the bed?
But I had to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. We're there for you, everywhere you go.
Mr. Barr has big dreams for his business, Barr & Co. Limited, and his family, making them a reality man to long drives and queues. He's lost precious time struggling to pay his suppliers in China, Turkey, India, and other parts of the world. With the First National Bank global payment via our online banking enterprise, he now pays for all that in the convenience of his home or office, giving him time to focus on family and growing his business. Use our online banking enterprise to access Forex when you need it. It takes a bank that does more to help your family. So who's helping yours? First National Bank. How can we help you?
Your
your success our passion.
So how the thing end? My God. So we video call like 2 minutes. Then now she say make I take over and meet them. But Charlie, as I hang up, where I Rexy, my data finish. See, I roam I no get data back. So I said they come look for another phone. Hey, my guy, hold up. You see why you for use Vodafone? I be all be the same data. Who tell you? Now with Vodafone, whether you get data or not, you go free use the Uber app with no data charges at all. Hey, this one? Oh yeah. Now Vodafone the Uber partner. So even if you get data where you use the Uber app, then they tell you anything. Where if you no get data safe, Charlie, you the free use the Uber app. Simple. No data matter bia. Where they be safe be say, as you they use the app, you the free get free ride. Where it come with some champion discount. You can now order your Uber ride at no data cost and stand a chance to enjoy free rides and amazing discounts. Switch to Vodafone today.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the sharp decline in crude prices may come with some mixed impact for the economy. This was after a drop by some 30% to hit $35 a barrel. The move was due to a price war between some of the oil-producing countries. But how is this going to hit our economy, looking at the fact that we export crude and import petroleum products? We have more in the following Business Desk report.
Today's significant drop is being described by many analysts as a record reduction since the Gulf War. But just when we thought that this would have been an end to the crude oil challenges, another thing has come up again. This is because American banking giant Goldman Sachs is also warning that due to this development, oil prices could soon hit $20 a barrel. For consumers of petroleum products, this should come as good news that if the Ghana cedis continues to stabilize strongly against the dollar, that could also impact positively on the cost of production for businesses if crude prices stay this way. This may even lead to some of them reducing prices on the market. But for government or managers of the economy, this development could get them thinking. That is, should they act now or even wait for a while to see whether or not the situation could persist? Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta in the 2020 budget said government is projecting about $1.5 billion as the benchmark price of $62.6 a barrel. But looking at current pricing developments, it is likely that government may lose about half of projected revenue for this year. Now, this could result in some serious implications to the economy, because government is hoping to use some of these revenue to finance its projects in the budget. Therefore, any challenge could put some serious pressure on government finances. In a year that Sino-Hydro projects have also been frozen due to the coronavirus. This development may just not be good for government, especially when it had declared 2020 as the year of roads.
And that was a Business Desk report. In a related development, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers said the development actually makes a strong case for prices of petroleum product to be reduced at the pumps. Dankanamwa is the chamber, and it says government should take the lead by removing some of the taxes on the price build-up and also allowing the deregulation policy to work.
If we want to sustain this issue of deregulation or price deregulation in force or in play, we should be able to go through the price build-up and situate them properly. Anything other than this, I do not see how this trend or trajectory of fuel price increases will stop at any point. It looks as though we've set the vehicle on a slope and we are only allowing it to drag all of us, and it's not good enough. Aside government staying away from certain prices every 2 weeks, the only time deregulation seems to work in Ghana is where you expect the margins, individual margins of the oil marketing companies to be at play. All other factors of pricing or within the price build-up are constant. Talk of the taxes, you can't do anything. Talk of ex-refinery price, you can't do anything about it. Talk of the CD Forex, relationship, you can't do anything about it under deregulation. The only time deregulation is said to be working is how much margins the OMCs themselves would apply, and that for us is not good enough.
Duncan Amwa is the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Now, the Bank of Ghana says it has instituted the necessary regulations and structures to aid its plan of going cashless in 3 years' time. The central bank is currently working to go cashless as it has christened the digital by 2024. Now, this will mean that they are reducing significantly the amount of cash used in financial transactions in the country. Head of Payments at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Seto Amediku, says all these measures will go along with support this policy by the central bank.
Ghana is very ready, and this is explained by the infrastructure we have. We are one of the best payment infrastructure, very robust. Ghana is ready by the enabling legislation. You will be surprised that when we talk about Payment System Services Act 2019, we are one of the modern and state-of-the-art legislation, which most countries are now coming to learn from. Now, we just also passed our payment system strategy of 2019-2024, and we have broad government support with government overall objective of ensuring that the economy is digitized. So it's a collective work that we need to do.
Dr. Seto Amediku is head of payments at the Bank of Ghana. The country's High Commissioner to Canada, Ayekoto, says talks are underway with some investors in that country over the assembling of private jets in the country. The move is part of efforts to make the country the hub for aviation business in the region. Speaking to Joy Business in Canada, His Excellency Soto said these discussions are just at the initial stages.
We've been talking about it. We want to build our, aviation, especially the local one between Accra, Kumasi, and the north and the rest. Embraers are not big aircraft, and they can easily stay there and come to Ghana, do some assembling, get, the industry working.
That's Ghana's High Commissioner to Canada, Ayekoto, speaking to Joy Business. So the stock market and that of EcoBank was down by 2 pesos to close at 7 Ghana cedis, 29 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight. And back to the two lovely women in the studio as we celebrate International Women's Day, which was yesterday, but we're showing the importance of women to us at the Multimedia Group and to us here. I don't know how life would be without women.
Yeah. Of course, there will be no life.
Yeah. Our life support, actually.
Yes, definitely.
Let's take some of your messages that you sent in via WhatsApp on 0244340437. This one from Sir Prempe Presekli Gone says, frankly speaking, I support women in all spheres of life, but I think women should work their way out to such enviable positions because other women did without affirmative action. On that note, I totally disagree with the passage of affirmative action bill. You should see Nanoye's face. And this one from Stephen Donkery in Kumasi, he says that the affirmative action is long overdue. It is a good call and at the right time for our mothers, but I think the politicians just don't want to pass it into law. And this one from Fusini Kaswazungu says there's a saying that like father like son, but this is rather like husband like wife. Mrs. Samira Baumia is more than an economist. Adam Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Baumia are too hot for the NDC to hold and touch. And this one also says the answer is we need dual carriage on all of our major highways, Mr. President. We are paying tolls on them. Yao Fusu is talking in reference to the Kintampo accident, the latest one. And then Moses Mikado says, what are our leaders doing to stop reckless and careless drivers on our roads? It is time to start punishing careless drivers severely in Ghana to save the nation. And then Nanaya Afre North Kaneshi says, I felt so sad listening to Erastus narrate how the accident occurred. Drivers who ply that stretch of road must understand that they have the lives of travelers in their hands and therefore must adhere to basic driving regulations. Again, I think the MCE together with the Regional Security Council must, as a matter of urgency, deploy police officers to simply enforce the law on that stretch of the road. I'll take a final one, and this one says, we passed by the accident scene in the morning and it was really, really terrible. May Allah have mercy on the departed souls. Dean in Cape Coast sends that one in, Nana.
Thank you. Back to the Sogakope murder. Former President Jerry John Rawlings has offered a 25,000 cedis bounty on the killers of the Sogakope South Electoral Area Assembly member. Tonight, he is piling pressure on the police to act with speed in arresting and prosecuting all those responsible for the murder. Former President Rawlings is convinced that the many unresolved murders by the police is giving criminal elements in the society the boldness to act with impunity. Marcus Ajakle was killed by unknown assailants on the 1st of March. 4 suspects are being interrogated by the police. We have more on this from the former president shortly, but Komla Adom and Fred Kwame visited the area and report that the protest by the residents in the area has impacted negatively on revenue generation.
It's been only 10 minutes of observing traffic flow at the toll booth close to the Sogakofe Bridge along the Accra-Aflao Highway, but we've counted more than 30 vehicles pulling through the toll booths here. Economic benefit to residents and business owners here is immeasurable. District Chief Executive for South Tongue, Emmanuel Agama, underscores the importance of a highway.
This road is ECOWAS road, where we have international, other people from neighboring countries passing through. From Abidjan through Accra to Lomé, Cotonou and Lagos. It's a corridor that most passengers applied, and therefore it's an important road to us as a district.
Now, if you're wondering why anyone will target this stretch, then this is why.
This is our way of recording our displeasure towards what has been happening in the community.
So on the 1st and 2nd of March, angry residents of Sogakofe poured onto the streets, mounted roadblocks, and impeded traffic flow for several hours.
They actually amassed themselves here around 9 a.m., blocked the road to vehicular traffic, and then to somehow register their displeasure and then show to the world that they are not happy with operations of the police here. So there was no movement here on Sunday from 9 a.m. to about 1 p.m. when the opinion leaders came in to speak to them and then advised that they should open the unauthorized roadblock that they mounted here on Sunday.
Joy News has been told the toll booth operators had to flee the booths during the disturbances to avoid being caught up in it. The cumulative effect of those actions of a youth are a target of 4,582 cedis, for example, on Sunday was not realized, so they were only able to raise an amount of 2,825 cedis, a shortfall of 1,700 cedis plus. Also on Monday, a target of 4,974 cedis was not met. The operators were only able to realize 3,609 cedis. Altogether, in excess of 2,700 cedis in revenue was lost over the 2 days due to the protests here. Though the road is now open to traffic, there are fears the residents could return to block it again. But DCE Emmanuel Agama says there are adequate measures to ensure the international route does not suffer any more blockades. Komla Adom and Fred Kwame Asari's report from Sogakofe in the Volta region.
Now, the former President Rawlings, who visited the family of the deceased, wants the police to bring all the suspects to book.
The statement says 4 persons have been arrested on suspicion of their involvement in the killing of the assemblyman for the Sogakofe South electoral area. The 4 are currently assisting police investigation and will be duly arraigned. The police is working assiduously in partnership with all relevant stakeholders to arrest anyone involved in the killing of the assemblyman.
Also here today to solidarize with you, to join you to express my condolences, my sympathies with all that happened over the last month or so, and especially the one that happened a few days ago. I hope that correct information will be coming through to enable us to deal with those responsible for that savagery. And I think some of these things happen or are happening because some of the killings that have been going on in this country, and especially in this area, are not being dealt with appropriately. So people feel they can do things like that with impunity and get away with it because they will not pay the price with their lives as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very vigilant to prevent this sort of thing. And I'm saying so especially to the police administration. They should be equipped to do their jobs properly.
Meanwhile, former President John Dramani Mahama is also urging the police to expedite action on the pursuit of the perpetrators. The former President John Dramani Mahama led a team of NDC officials to visit and commiserate with the family of the deceased assembly member over the weekend.
The least we can do is to condole with you and ask you to accept what God has done. But we must seek justice for him. And we call on the security services to to make sure that they redouble their efforts and find out whoever were behind this action and bring them to justice. And we will not relent. If by the time we have the election, the people have not been found, when our government comes into power, we will continue to pursue the case until we find out who did it.
So it's time for sports. Benedict, I have a few questions.
Please do.
You're talking about, is it Corolla? I've never heard. I thought it was even an Italian football team.
So Corolla United, they play in the Ghana Premier League. They are one of the 18 teams in the Premier League.
Is Olympics one of the 18 teams?
Yes,
the Olympics they are one of.
Yeah,
How are they doing? Are they doing well?
Well, they won their last game.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they won their last game at the Accra Stadium to Ebuson Dwarfs.
And
their next game, which I entreat you to be at the Accra Stadium, they are playing against Accra Hearts of Oak.
Oh, I'll be there.
On Wednesday, 7 p.m.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
So the Manchester Accra Derby is happening.
Only that day. Only Gbogbo.
Only coronavirus.
Only coronavirus. And also, my best friend is a fanatic with this team, Liverpool.
Okay.
And she was so upset a week ago. I didn't know. I hear they lost.
Yeah, because they lost their very first game in the English Premier League to Watford, 3-0.
Oh, dear.
They were going to go unbeaten as Arsenal did some years back. The Invincibles, 49 games unbeaten, and Liverpool were inching closer. They had played 44 games, they had not lost, and then Watford came in with the defeat, after which they lost other games as well. But the good news for our friends is that they bounced back to winning ways last week.
They were okay
over the weekend.
So are they going to win the league?
Of course, they are winning the league. Manchester City actually lost to Man United yesterday. So what it means is that Liverpool now must win their next 2 games to become champions of the English Premier League. And this is going to be the first time in 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm going to pray for
Klopp.
Klopp.
definitely, if they do that, I'm sure your friend will do a party which will invite you.
She'll be very happy. I will invite you.
Yeah, of course, you have to.
You're done with your questions?
I'm done with my questions.
Now, let's show the world of sports.
So angry fans of Premier League side Corolla United stormed their training ground this afternoon to sack head coach and Osadepa following their bad run in the ongoing Ghana Premier League. Now, they are 17th on the league log after match day 13 with 10 points from winning 2 games, losing 7 and drawing 4. This, for the fans, is unacceptable. Here's Communications Director of the club, Niama Ashon Katai.
They stopped the coach from leading the team for the training. They asked that the other backroom staff should be the ones leading the team for training, a position which the players vehemently rejected and indicated that they would only train if the coach leads them for the training for this afternoon. Both teams did not come to an understanding, and what happened was that the training was aborted for today. As I speak with you, the supporters are still at the training grounds. They also continue with their press conference, aside the fact that they were asking that the coach should leave the club. They also pleaded with the chief and people of Nzima.
So Niama Ashon Katai is Communications Director of Corolla United. Now, all sports at all levels in Italy is to be suspended until April 3 because of coronavirus. The country's Olympic Committee has announced. Now, this includes football matches in Syria, but does not cover Italian clubs or national teams participating in international competitions. So Syria is off and had already said all games will be played behind closed doors. Until then, still with coronavirus, now Paris Saint-Germain's Champions League last 16 match against Borussia Dortmund on Wednesday will not be played behind closed doors. So that will be played actually behind closed doors because of coronavirus. So it's affecting almost everything.
Exactly.
Sports, yeah. So
okay,
because you have a lovely guest, I cannot do my thing.
Know.
So.
Well, I'll do your things for you, Benedict, and announce that all roads lead to Accra Sports Stadium to support Great Olympics, 120% against Accra Hearts of Oak. Oli Dade, Oli News Night, Wednesday, Oli News Night. Thank you. In our Joy Story series, we hear from the former Joy FM News anchor Jifa Bampo on why multimedia provides a great work environment for women.
The company has had to grow and develop policies that favor women who are in a unique situation, married, single mother, have children, have a family to look after. It's not easy because the broadcast times can't really be changed. But I would say and give credit to the management that they were always sensitive to women. For this, I would always doff my hat off for Kwesi Trumbo, Echikwam. If you went to them with your unique need, they would at least urge your manager to try find a way to help you.
That's our dear colleague.
That's our dear Jifa Bampo. Hello, Jifa. Age did not hold back patrons of the Joy FM Conquer Ghana tour, as participants as young as 8 and as old as 75 years took up the challenge in conquering some of the country's historical sites in 48 hours. The tour, which forms parts of activities marking the Ghana Month, took participants to the Central, Ashanti, Bono East and Savannah regions, leaving them in awe of the tourist attractions the country has on offer. Joy News editor Araba Kumsin joined the trip and has come through with this report.
Around Ghana in 48 hours, that was the challenge the Joy FM Conquer Ghana tour offered, and more than 60 people signed up for the encounter, including 75-year-old Charlotte Arabasam.
You know, I love traveling, and I told my children, this is my special birthday. I want nothing but a trip. And I heard the Joy trip on the radio while driving, so I told my kids, buy me the ticket, I want to go with them.
The first stop was at the Cape Coast Castle in the Central region, where tour guides led the team through the poorly ventilated dungeons where slaves were held captive by the colonialists.
They were guarded again from the dungeons. They would chain them together. They would take them all the way to the door of no return.
This story has been told several times in history books, but for the Conquer Ghana patrons, this experience hit close to home.
Everybody who comes to this tour and being told of all those historical accounts, you definitely at a point in time get emotionally at least involved in there, and by so letting some few tears out.
The team was also led to Asin Manso, where slaves were often brought on foot to be headed to the castle, where they were auctioned before being shipped off. Our next lesson in history was at the Ashanti region's Menchia Palace Museum, where the region's rich culture has been very well preserved, and our team did not lose sight of that.
The way they've preserved the Ashanti kingdom, the regalias, their cloth, their pictures, their fridges that they use 16, 20 years now, I'm so marveled. And I like the way they preserve that rich culture.
I've seen things since 18 times that I couldn't believe that is the original. Everything is very original. I'm really impressed.
History lessons over, we headed to the Kintampo waterfalls in the Bono East region, where the patrons took up the challenge of walking down a flight of over 200 steps to the banks of the waterfall, as well as the canopy walkway. Our final destination was the Savannah region for a safari experience at the Mole National Park, where participants observed elephants and crocodiles in their natural habitat. Our last stop was at Larabanga, where the oldest mosque in West Africa, built in Sudanese architectural style, is sited.
So that is all for tonight's edition of News Night. I am Nana Oye Lithur, and
I am Emefa Apawu.
Nana Ansakwao is up next with That's My Opinion.
But not so fast, Nana. Did you enjoy your time here?
I thoroughly enjoyed my time.
You do it again?
I'll do it again. My only temptation was to add my own bits. And
how did you feel reading the story about the Samira Baumia?
It was very difficult.
You wanted to say something?
I wanted to say something. I really wanted to say something.
But it's the news.
The Vice President Baumia now cannot speak on the economy because he knows it's failed, and now he's getting the second lady Samira to come and say stuff,
and that's really it. Sign out.
Anyway, there's more news, and so log on to myjoyonline.com for more news. Please read. Good evening. Thank you.